So we are going to go ahead and dress this raccoon so that you can eat it. Basically, where I like to start was the front legs. I'm going to start right with the spine. Again, just using flint. I'm going to go right down the spine. I'm going to push that in real deep. This is all flint. I'm not using a knife. I'm going to go right next to the spine as much as I can. Then I'm going to pull back. You might have to follow me a little bit. So, latissimus dorsi, we're going to go ahead and cut that all the way through, from one side to the other. Normally with a raccoon, you would just like throw this whole thing or quarter it and put it in a pot. I want to do this so that it would be like you were going to smoke it. So I'm going to turn that elbow out. I'm going to go right underneath the arm. I'm going to get a lot of this pectoral muscle. Probably is going to go with the other side. But we're going to cut through. And basically their shoulder blade is not really attached to their body by anything other than connective tissue. So we're just going to cut through all that. So at this stage, we have a front leg. I can hang that in the smoker and we can cook that. This is roadkill, it's 2 days old. I'm not cooking this, I won't eat this. But you could do that whole thing in a smoker. I typically, anything larger than that, we want to like cut down into smaller pieces. So I'm going to cut through the pectoral muscles, right through the armpit. We're going to go underneath the shoulder blade, get everything we can off of this chest. So I'm getting all the latissimus dorsi muscles, rhomboidus, trapezius, and other muscles that I don't remember from vet school. We're going to cut that whole thing off. Just like our caveman ancestors did, and there's a leg. So we can hang that in the smoker. It's probably going to have to sit for several days. You definitely don't want flies on it while this is happening, but that's the whole purpose of doing this. Now comes the fun part. This thing has been in the ground, or been up in the air now for a couple of days. It was in a cooler. We're going to cut right down the middle. Oh, did you hear that? It just went pop. So, you want to go right to the midline. We're going to pull this thing apart. Does that smell bad, Henley?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought so. We're going right to the midline. I'm going to try to not bust the intestines. These things are super distended with gas. There we go. Yeah, normally they would be about half that size, which would make it much easier to deal with. So, I'm going to try to remove the momentum beneath the colon. And I'm going to get another piece because it's much sharper and much deeper. And actually, we need to go to the back side, where actually all the stuff that we were trying to stay away from skinning this thing, we're actually going to go back to. And what we're going to do is release all of the tissues that go to the colon and to the urethra in the pelvis. Let all that stuff go because I want to pull it through, which is really important because you don't want to just cut across the colon and leave it in there, because there's tons and tons and tons of bacteria in the colon. So we got to get that part on through the creature. The easiest way to do that is to come back here at the end. We're going to cut through, and I want to cut deep, and I want to pull that up as much as we possibly can so I can release all those tissues that are in the pelvis and let them just drop through the abdomen. If we do that, then the meat stays clean. If we don't do that, well, not so clean. And that's not a good thing, especially when we're primitively trying to preserve this stuff. So I'm cutting back through all the stuff that I've pulled up. And this connects to both the bladder and the colon. This is the female, and uterus. We'll have to check and see once we start cutting. It looked like when we were skinning her that she either had babies or was pregnant. And we'll kind of look through here and see. Now, for this challenge, my thought is we're going to get a carcass, not a cadaver. Because if you get a cadaver, there's some things that we could utilize. See how much I pulled that rectum out of the body? I'm just cutting along the sides of this and working my way around. I'm not really trying to pull it through this way. I just want to loosen up everything as far as I can in this direction. Okay, so that's pretty well loosened up. So let's go back to the other side. Grab that colon. I'm going to see if we can pull that bad boy on through. Nope, didn't want to go yet. That's okay. We'll get there. But I'm going to go ahead and cut these side pieces off. These are the flanks, which you can certainly put on a smoker. I'm going to take this on down the ribs. We're almost there. Take that on down the ribs. Okay. That's a good hunk of meat. That's pretty tough, but it's a piece of meat. So put that in our pile. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Let's take that flank. And I have not changed out flint from the beginning of this. Wow. What the hell is that? The last animal I did this with had a pulmonary abscess, which is like really rare. And basically it was a grace killing when I trapped it. Certainly wouldn't want to eat that because it would be toxic, but here's another piece of flank that could be put on the smoker. So, what do we got going on here? We got a very distended stomach. That liver does not look good. That is not a healthy liver. Liver should be very dark purple. That is not. I'm not liking that very much. So all these intestines, I could pull those out and actually we could make cordage out of that. I could make a bowstring out of that. So I'm cutting through, this is the colonic mesentery. I'm not really liking the way the inside of this animal looks though. It doesn't look very healthy, which may be why I got hit by a car. How you doing, man?
Finished.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. You got an invoice for me?
Let me see. I'm not sure, but
So, that was one of the reasons with filming that was a problem today, was because I was having a fence put up. And there was digging machines and compressors and all kinds of like loud things that made it very, very difficult to actually do any kind of filming. But here we are at almost 6 o'clock. I was planning on doing this about 1. So I pull this way out this way. Now I'm going to pull it way back this way. Let's see if I can pull it all the way through. Because we really don't want the connective tissue. We don't want the intestines stuck to what we're doing.
She sent it to you.
Okay, cool, man. You got your eggs?
Yeah, I got it. Thank
Sweet,
you very much.
sweet, man. Hey, you won't want any more eggs after you get those.
They're good, thank you.
They're very good. Yeah, yeah. Those are farm eggs.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have a? That was yours, right? The piece of brakes that you have outside.
The what?
The brakes, the big the 12, the brake, the one that's stepping though. That was yours.
Pause it for a second.